friends, welcome to the second video of this training series. Before we start the video, I would like to request, please like, subscribe and share with others so that this video reaches to someone may need this. And also don't forget to press the bell icon so that you receive the notification whenever I upload a new video in this series. So today we are going to discuss about the preparation of environment for our AL development. So the components that we need and the basic configuration that we require to start with the AL development. So before you can start programming or extension development for Business Central, you will be required to download and install the editor, that is Visual Studio Code, where you will be writing your all the AL codes. So you can search using any of your search engine, or directly you can use the link as shown below, that is https://code.visualstudio.com and /download. So when you open this page, you will be provided with the page similar to one shown here. So depending on whichever version OS you are using, you can download the required program from your browser. So once you are done with the download, you will have to locate the downloaded file and start your installation. So it's very straightforward and simple installation. You have to just run the program and respond to the dialogues coming on screen. You have to just follow that screen. So let's have a quick demo on how we are going to install the Visual Studio. So here we go. So we start searching in the Google VS Code and download. You can use your favorite search engine. So we will be going with this first link, which is from visualstudio.com, download. So let's go with this. You will be presented with all the available versions. So depending upon whichever OS you are using, so either it is a Windows, Linux or your Mac. So in my case, we are going to use the Windows. So let's click on that. This Windows. So save the file to the desired location where you wish to do. So save as. So we have this file. So anyway, we will overwrite it. Okay. So say yes. So our file is now downloaded. So now let's locate the file where we have saved it. So let's start the program, the agreement screen. Here is the window. So accept the agreement. Select the path where you wish to install this program. and the program folder. Next, select any desired options and then next. So here we are done with all the configuration. So let's proceed with the installation. The installation will hardly take a minute and we will be done with the installation. Okay, so we are done. So it offers you to launch the Visual Studio Code. So let's open it. This is your opening screen for your Visual Studio Code. From here, we will continue to our presentation and then come back again to follow the rest of the options. So once our download is done, so to make this editor capable to start with the AL code development or extension development, you will have to install the AL extension from the marketplace. So let's see how we will do that. Here is the demo for that. Okay, so let's come to the extension tab. We will now search for AL language extension, language program, AL language basically. So this is the extension which we require to be installed. So let's proceed with the install. So it will take a while and we will be done with our installation. So hardly it will take a minute. Okay, so here we are done. So our AL language extension is now installed. So now we will be able to write the AL codes. So we will come back and continue with the rest of the process. Now we are done with all our pre-requirement to start with the AL development. So let's start with a sample code just to test that everything is working fine. So we need to find the instance on which we are going to upload our extension or we are going to develop the extension for. So that is pretty much required. And second thing, we have to decide on where we are going to place our project files. So in the next video, we are going to see how to create the project, perform the basic configuration, and then we download the symbols, because without this, whatever you write will not be recognized by the VS Code. So these samples, this basically symbols will provide all those information, and your sample project, basically the hello world is already there. So you need not to write a code. We have to just test the sample. Second is we will compile and package our extension. Then we will publish our extension, and then after publishing we will test this in a BC if this extension is working correctly. So let's have a quick demo on this also. So here we go. Let's start with the first demo project just to check that our installation has gone well and everything is working perfect. So we will start with deciding first where we will be saving our project. So we have decided that this is the place where we will store our project. So let's make a note of this so that when we require, the information is readily available to us. So for that I am opening a notepad and will save all the information. So this is the folder where I will store my all the projects. Okay. Next thing is to find the instance on which we are going to have a development. So this is one instance. This is a demo database, and if you can see, now you can even access your environment from here also. Earlier you has to go to the admin center, and from there you select your environment. So basically when you purchase a tenant, at that time you will be having one production and up to 3 sandbox is allowed. So in my case, this is my production and this is my sandbox and this is my sandbox 2. So you have one production and maximum up to 3 sandboxes. So whenever we are doing any development, we don't do directly on our production environment. So we do it somewhere in our sandboxes. So let's assume that we want to do let's select this one. So we will be doing a extension development in this sandbox, and once the sandbox is tested okay and we are satisfied with the result, we will move that extension to a production environment. Anyway, we are just testing, so let's switch to this environment. So now if you see, we are switched to our tenant ID remains same. This is a sandbox environment name and this is a company name. So in few seconds we will be having a opening screen. Yeah, now you are here. So let's copy this so that this is readily available to us and save it to here. So in entire story, this URL, this is the one thing which we will be looking for. This is basically our tenant. Then second thing is our environment name. So you can copy this to here. Okay. So similarly, if you verify it from your admin center, for this tenant, this subscription tenant. So this is the production, this is your sandbox, and this is also a sandbox. So we have decided to work on this sandbox. So see, this is the URL with your ID and your sandbox environment. So see, this is your name of the sandbox, environment name, and this is the type, that it could be your sandbox or it could be your production. So type is sandbox and ARKSD test is a name of the sandbox or environment. Okay. So this is the all information we may require when we start with the development of a extension. So to start with the extension, we will have to launch the VS Code. Okay, so the VS Code is now open. So the first thing which we will have to do is we will have to define the project path where we are going to create a project. So either you can go from here command palettes, or alternatively you can press Ctrl Shift and P. Okay, so to start with the project, the first command which you have to execute is al go. So let's click this. So when we say al go, it will demand us with the project location and the name of the project. So it is suggesting some path, but I want to save my project at this place, and this is training demo is my project name. Okay, so after providing the path and the folder name or your project name, so if you see, it suggests you please choose a path to a new empty folder and press enter to confirm. So if this information is okay, you press enter to proceed. So next is it will ask for which platform, to which platform your this extension will target. So we are having the latest one, so we will be selecting this 10.0 Business Central 2022 release wave 2. Okay, so we select this. So once we do this, so it could be, so yes, you can respond to this. So after doing this, it will create few of the informations. The training demo is the project, app.json and hello world. So if we go ahead, so it is still in the process of creating your project. So now it will ask which type of server you are going to use. So first one is the cloud sandbox, which we are using at the moment. And suppose you are using your on-premise, so you can use your own server. So as of now, since we are using the cloud SaaS version of Business Central, so we will select this. So it has created this. So now it says that you will have to sign to authenticate. So you just copy and open. So it will ask you to the login. So you will just provide that code and next. So it is asking which login you want to use. So I am going to use this login, and it's asking for the password. So you will provide your password. Okay. So we will sign in. Oops. Okay. So it confirms, are you trying to sign in to the developer? Yes. Continue. So now you are signed in to your environment, developer environment. Now you can close this. So let's return to a project. So this will by default create a small sample extension where it basically extends the customer list page. So this is basically a page extension. We are going to creating the page extension. It has given some ID to it, and customer list extension is the new page extension which we are creating, the name for that. And this is the Microsoft Business Central original page or standard page. So on this, they have done the trigger on open page, means whenever this customer list page will open, then what should happen. So they have just simply given a message of like app published hello world. So this is just a sample just to check that your connection is okay. You are able to deploy the extension and everything. So basically few things we will require to change, like if you see here, so this is okay. We will go through each and every of these parameters in coming training. So we will use as and when required each of them and explain what does it denotes. So as of now, since we are only testing that our connection and everything is okay, so for that purpose, we are leaving whatever the default has suggested as it is. However, I would like to have a little bit idea on few of the fields so that you can start understanding what is going over here. So this is the basically application ID. This is one unique ID provided by the Microsoft VS Code or your AL language programming. So via this, your each and every extensions are identified uniquely. So what will be the name of your project? So name of my extension is training demo. So what is the publisher? So we can say the publisher of this is ARKSD Consultancy. So version, which version you are developing? So starting, we are starting with the version 1, and consequently as we keep adding new features, we will increase the version accordingly. So brief about the project, description of the project, any privacy statements you want, EULA, help, URL, logo of your extension, which will be shown in your extension list. Dependencies are basically when we are creating the project on top of any other extension. So you will have to mention those extensions and their ID, their name, their version, their publisher, so that you can access the objects and fields and other things from that project if you are going to use them in your project. If you are not going to use them, not required. But if you are targeting any other extension, any other extensions objects, any other objects table fields which is defined in some other extension, so you will have to create the dependency on that. We will see into this also. And screenshots, platform, you can define. Application is a 21 version which currently we are using. And this is the basically this project will have the objects in this range. So you can define from which number to which number your project is going to use the objects. So as of now, we will leave it as it is. Then there are some exposure policy. So do you want to allow debugging? You are allowed downloading your source code, means from the extension management if you want to download your source code, and if you want your source code to be included in your symbol files. So depending upon, we will come to each and every parameter and see the differences, what does it have anyway for the time being. So runtime, as in the initially we have already mentioned that we are targeting to 10.0 and no implicit width and other features, if any, we will discuss on them when we start doing our programming. Okay. So let's go to the launch.json. So these two are the basically required files in your project. So the version of this launch.json is 0.2.0 and you are defining the configuration. So by which name you want to access this. So you can leave it as it is or you can give the name. To it. Then request is to launch. What type of AL we are doing. Environment type is sandbox, as you have seen. And now here what we have stored here is the KSD test. Your environment name. So it is basically your case sensitive. So you need to have. So when this extension is uploaded at that time, what you should have. So for quick test, what we do, we add some startup objects so that when we deploy this, so directly that particular page or any that object get in execution. So we are saying that we want to run the page and its ID is 22. Basically, we are doing the customization on customer list page. So we want when we execute this at that time, this should open the customer list page. So break on all errors and launch the browser. If you say yes, then when you deploy this, the browser will be launched, your Business Central will be opened. You're running the SQL statements and debuggers. So those are all the information that we require. But still, if you see that, this says that this is not found. Why? Because this customer list page is your standard table. This is the page. So it's your standard page, which this VS Code do not understand. So to allow VS Code to understand this, what is the customer list? So you have to download the symbols that will basically download your application and system apps from the Business Central environment. So to do that, again we will open the Control-Shift-P and we have the command download symbols. So this, when you do this, this will connect to the environment which you have provided and download your application and system files. So here you can see targeting the Business Central, KSD test, metadata, and this is your user which is being used for the credential. And once your symbols are downloaded, you will get the notification about it that your symbols are now downloaded. So let's wait for that. It may take few seconds. Yeah, now you see your symbols have been downloaded. So when this particular symbols have been downloaded, so you can see in your app packages, these 4 app files are downloaded from your Business Central. That is your Microsoft application, base application, system application, and system. These 4 apps have been downloaded. Now if you see, this customer list error has gone, because now it understands that customer list, what is customer list. So customer list is basically in your base application. So if you see, now we have no errors in your project. So next thing is what we will compile it or create the package. So we have downloaded a symbol. Now you can directly publish. So when you publish, it will automatically make a package and then publish it to your Business Central and open your Business Central with the page 22, that is your customer list page. So let's do it separately. So we are going to do the package. So now if you see, the package is created. So if you see your KSD Consultancy, your publisher, your project name and version.app file, this file is now created. So now you can directly upload this to your Business Central, or you can publish it from here also. So to do that, we will say publish without debugging and publish with debugging. So when we sometimes happens, we are developing and we want to debug any part of the code. So you can select it for publish with debugging, or you can directly upload it and test in your environment. So we are at this moment only directly publishing this without debugging. So it will now create a connection with your Business Central, authenticate your login and publish this to your Business Central. And once the publish is done, it will launch your. So now it is trying to launch my Business Central. So I will select the user and it will directly open the customer list page, because we have mentioned in the launch that the page 22 should run when we publish this package or this extension. So the moment it tries to open this page, customer list page, So your message, basically what you have coded, a message app published hello world. So this message you have said when this page will open, when this particular event will happen. So what happened? We have opened the page. So event has happened on open page. So it has just executed the code that was written into that event. So there was a simple message written. So app published hello world. So it means, so now we are okay that we were able to create the extension, configure it, what the basic configuration was required that we have done, and then published it to the Business Central and executed it and saw the result. So for today in this video, this is all, and we may start the object level one by one. All type of objects we will discuss and learn how to work with those objects and what are the things we should keep in mind while we are developing any extension. So great. See you in next video. Till then, bye. Take care.